Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We'll start with the water vapor satellite picture once again, which is at about 10 a.m. this morning. And you can see we have a very powerful upper level low starting to develop over the southeast. This upper level low will slowly lift north towards the Northern Mid-Atlantic by the end of this week. In the meantime, though, it's pulling in a tremendous amount of moisture from the tropical Atlantic into the Northern Mid-Atlantic. Notice we have plenty of moisture sitting off the coast, and as this upper level low develops and intensifies tonight through tomorrow, and then again into Wednesday, that moisture plume is going to be directed into the New Jersey coast and produce a significant amount of rainfall for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. So surface map as of 10 a.m. and as you can see we have an area low pressure meandering around the southern mid-Atlantic. This low pressure system will redevelop down towards the North Carolina coast because the upper level low will be consolidating in that location. So what we can expect is a stationary front to linger around the northern mid-Atlantic, producing scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms throughout the day. Now, a few of these showers and thunderstorms will organize along what's called a mesoscale boundary. And this boundary will basically enhance the area of showers and thunderstorms and produce very heavy rainfall. So if you fall under one of these boundaries, let's say for example northeast New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley, parts of the Delaware River Valley, you can experience some very heavy rainfall and the potential for flash flooding. Otherwise, weather conditions will remain cloudy, drizzly, muggy, and warm with temperatures in the upper 60s to mid 70s. So we're not looking at a cool pattern, obviously, because the air mass is coming off of the tropical Atlantic. Basically, we're pulling in an air mass that is centered around the Bahamas. So if it was only a little bit more sunny, it actually would be a rather nice pattern. But unfortunately, with this upper level low, we're going to have to deal with some rain. This is the 500 millibar forecast from the GFS off the Penn State EWOL website, and this is for Tuesday afternoon. Now, notice by tomorrow afternoon, this upper level low is consolidating. It's very strong. There's plenty of strong lifting over parts of North Carolina. And the flow, the wind pattern at 500 millibars and all the way down to the surface is from the south and southeast, which is pulling moisture into the northern mid-Atlantic. Now, initially, what we're going to see is that scattered showers and thunderstorms will start to consolidate and form a line of rainfall from the Atlantic into northeastern Pennsylvania. So for much of the day today, look for showers to be scattered. Those scattered showers will increase in coverage tomorrow afternoon as this upper level low consolidates and the pattern intensifies, and the wind pattern, should I say, intensifies off of the Atlantic, which will draw in more moisture and focus the rainfall over the northern mid-Atlantic. One thing I want to point out that remains a constant throughout this entire pattern, through the entire forecast, is we have a deep trough setting up off the west coast and over much of the Rockies, which is forcing the polar jet stream well to the north. So we're not really dealing with much in the way of cold air or cool air from northern Canada or from the Arctic. Instead, we pretty much have this upper level low pulling in tropical moisture in from the Atlantic and keeping conditions wet but warm. If not for this upper level low, the weather pattern will be very warm and rather pleasant. Unfortunately, we're going to deal with this upper level low for the next couple of days. At the surface on Tuesday afternoon, you can see our area low pressure consolidating over parts of North Carolina, and our isobars are starting to tighten, which signifies that winds will start to increase from the southeast, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. We could see a gust up to 30 miles per hour in some of the heavier downpours. By Wednesday evening, our upper level low starts to lift north and starts to interact with the polar jet stream that's well to the north in Canada. This upper level low starts to weaken, but we still have a strong amount of lifting centered along the east coast. So as this area low pressure that was over North Carolina starts to push north and then northwest towards the Ohio Valley, we'll see a stronger influx of moisture coming in off the Atlantic, producing a very wet day on Wednesday with steady, moderate to heavy rainfall throughout much of the northern mid-Atlantic. And you can see at the surface that this low pressure system on Wednesday afternoon is not very strong. It's rather disorganized and relatively weak, but because of the strong fetch off the Atlantic at every level of the atmosphere, that produces enough moisture transport to produce the heavy rainfall, and you have enough lifting from the upper level low aloft to support lifting of this moisture and producing steady, moderate to heavy rain on Wednesday. This is the rainfall forecast from the HPC from now all the way until Thursday morning. Now you can see that the heaviest precipitation is focused over parts of eastern Pennsylvania up through the New York City metropolitan area. This is where we're expecting the strongest forcing mechanisms to organize because of the boundary layer along at the lower levels of the atmosphere, the coastal front, and also enhancement from what we call orographic lifting, as moisture coming in off the Atlantic is lifted up against the Appalachian Mountains. This creates an enhancement of rainfall, and thus you end up with these heavy rainfall amounts. Now, I know that some locations have a bullseye over New York City. I don't buy that so much. I think you're going to see the heaviest rainfall over parts of northwestern New Jersey and northeastern Pennsylvania because of that enhancement of the orographic lifting. But really, any of these locations over eastern Pennsylvania up through Connecticut will have the potential to see some very heavy rainfall as this rain just banks up against the mountains and the higher terrain. As for the coast, it's going to be a pretty heavy rain event still, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain. Regardless of where you're at, you're going to be at a threat for flash flooding with this storm. So use some caution and be prepared, especially if you live around the Raritan River Basin, the Delaware River Basin, or the Passaic River Basin. Those rivers are going to have a pretty good potential of having some flash flooding because of this heavy rainfall. By Friday morning, the upper level low starts to lift northeast and move over the northern Mid-Atlantic. Now, this is some good news because the majority of the moisture advection with this upper level low will now be east of the northern Mid-Atlantic. I can't rule out a few scattered showers with thunderstorms, but the good news again is that the steady rain will be over, and we're still going to hold on to the warm conditions, as for the most part, the polar jet stream is still well to the north into Canada. So we're under a warm regime for the most part. We're going to have to watch out for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms on Friday and into Saturday. But for the most part, tranquil conditions will start to return to the northern Mid-Atlantic. By Saturday evening, our upper level low starts to exit. We move under a drier pattern for Saturday evening on through Sunday. However, because of a deep trough that's developing over the west, we're going to move under a southwesterly flow, which will increase the threat for showers and strong to severe thunderstorms, depending on the position of some mid-level disturbances on Sunday afternoon. But we will be in a warm, humid, and unstable pattern moving into this weekend. Just a little bit less of a chance of rainfall, though, so that's certainly good news, but you're still going to keep an eye out for a few thunderstorms in the afternoon. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.